This is the Scarcity Studios YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. And this video is sponsored by Maurice Andrews Solicitors, Birmingham, the best in criminal legal defence. I really appreciate you joining me today, and we've got some news coming from Birmingham and the surrounding areas. The first story occurred yesterday in the early hours of the morning when a Lamborghini was found smashed up in Hockley and two men were stabbed in the attack. West Midlands Police said in a statement they were called to the area of Summer Lane, Birmingham at 10 to 5 this morning after two men in their 20s sustained stab injuries. They were both taken to hospital and had serious injuries but are in a stable condition. 8 men and 2 women were arrested, and the women were 18 and 24 years old. They were arrested on suspicion of violent disorder and wounding. They remain in police custody, and the police have issued an appeal for any information to anybody that was there. This was very near to Coded nightclub, and it's not sure if anybody was connected to the fight that came from the nightclub, but the Lamborghini is worth nearly £200,000 and was found smashed up in the middle of the road. A large cordon was in place when we attended today, and the police investigation is ongoing as they gather CCTV and take witness statements. We'll definitely keep you updated on anything to do with this story, and don't forget to subscribe. In some other news, and it involves a murder scene that I attended on the 25th of November. It was originally an attempted murder, but the victim later died in hospital on the same day. On Tuesday, the 25th of November, police were called at 4:15 in the morning. A 30-year-old man was found with serious injuries on Barbourne Road in Worcester, and he was taken to hospital but sadly died later that day. 5 men were arrested on suspicion of murder and are now on bail as the investigation continues. Detective Chief Inspector Lee Holhouse said over the course of the last few days, his team have been conducting extensive inquiries to ascertain what occurred on Tuesday morning and what led to the man losing his life. As part of these inquiries, police remained on Barbourne Road over the weekend, and they wanted to reassure the public they were gathering evidence and the public should not be alarmed. The police then appealed for anybody that had any information about this event that occurred, and a 6th man was also arrested on suspicion of murder following the 5 arrests, and he has since been released with no further action. So this was a fast developing story, and it was 2 days later the police released a statement to identify the victim. The 30-year-old was named as Vijay Kumar, and his family paid tribute to him. It said that he was a man that lived life with purpose, passion and full of heart. In a statement written by his family, they said that Vijay brought energy, joy and laughter and filled our lives with warmth. Life was never dull when he was around, even in hard times. His spirit was unbreakable. He lived with purpose, passion and heart, and behind everything that he did, his family and friends were the most important. Although his time was unexpectedly cut short, it was filled with meaning, and his tragic departure has left us devastated and has created a void in all our lives. Saying goodbye to such a loving family member is one of the hardest things we will ever do. So I want to send my condolences to the family of Vijay, and we're going to follow this story as it develops, but at this moment in time nobody has been charged and the cause of death has not been ascertained. They didn't say that he was stabbed, they just said serious injuries, so this could be a result of being beaten or weapons being used or even a vehicle. So at this early stage we can't speculate, and we're going to have to wait for more information. So don't forget to follow on the social medias to stay up to date with all the latest on this story and others. West Midlands Police have released a statement in relation to a car that has been crushed that was used in street racing on Albury Road back in 2022. I attended the scene where 2 people died. Ben Caulfield, 19 years old, and Liberty Charis was 16 years old. They were watching the races that occurred. The driver of the Nissan Skyline was Dira Al-Mamori. He lost control and crashed into the crowd, injuring several others and killing the 2 teenagers. Al-Mamori was sentenced to 13 years and 6 months in November 2024, and this week the family gathered alongside police to watch the Nissan Skyline that was used to kill them get crushed, and a message to racers that this will not be accepted in the local area. And this week, West Midlands Police were also answering questions in London following the Maccabi Tel Aviv match against Aston Villa that had fans not turn up. Initially, West Midlands Police had banned them and said they were a violent hooligan group and their fan base was very ultra. This was then overturned, and this caused a lot of controversy because it was claimed that it was anti-Semitic to not allow them to attend the match. We went to the protest that took place and we documented events from both sides, the pro-Israeli side and the pro-Palestinian side, and the night went off without much disruption. Only a few arrests took place and a few minor skirmishes, but the Chief Constable of West Midlands Police has answered questions about the reason as to why he chose to decide to ban the Tel Aviv fans initially.
The ultras were very well organised, militaristic in the way that they operated. They attacked members of the local community, including taxi drivers, tore down flags, people were thrown into the river, and definitely the singing, and I think the question from one of your colleagues earlier about the no schools in Gaza as the children were all dead.
In some other news from Birmingham, police have seized 9,000 cannabis plants with an estimated street value of £9.5 million. This was seized from a property in Les Isles, and police made 5 arrests after the discovery of the massive hoard of drugs. This is believed to have been the biggest seizure in the force's history, with a total of 9,488 plants at various stages of growth that were seized from a property on Grove Lane on the 19th of November. And it was clear that it was a central supply factory to other cannabis farms due to the large amount of propagators that are used to make the smaller plants. So when they're in the very early stages, the plants will be put in like an incubator, and then later on they will go on to be put into soil in a bigger pot. 5 men aged 37, 36, 32 and 21 years old were arrested and taken into custody. They were arrested for cultivating cannabis, burglary and possessing a Class B drug. Sergeant Harsh Chima from the cannabis disposal team said, "This was an absolutely fantastic outcome for our team. A major supply network has been disrupted and the supply across the West Midlands would have been affected." But everybody knows the real reality is that cannabis factories like this are not the main source of drugs across the Midlands and across the country. Most things come now through importation. So these factories are getting fewer and fewer. They will be big and they will make a lot of money. I don't believe this affects the distribution of drugs across the West Midlands or wider afield. So I really want to hear what people have to say on these stories, and don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. I'll be back again very shortly with some more news. Turn them notifications on.